What's up everyone? Welcome to Football Dose. My name is Ali and today we're going to look at Manchester United post-Ferguson era signings and rate them on a tier list. So the tier list has 5 categories. Number 1, the top category, which is the legend category. Number 2, worth every penny, which means a good signing. Number 3, reasonable. The particular signing was not very good, not very bad, somewhere in the middle. Number 4, unconvincing. And number 5 is an absolute flop. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. So starting the list, we have Marouane Fellaini. I think Marouane Fellaini always did his job. He was absolutely not a Manchester United player by any stretch of the imagination. His work rate was phenomenal and he was utilized by every Manchester United manager. Louis van Gaal, David Moyes and Jose Mourinho. He gets unnecessary hate from Manchester United fans. I know he's not a Manchester United quality midfielder, but he did his job. I'm going to put him in the middle category. Moving on, we have Guillermo Varela. When injury crisis hit Manchester United, he played I think 11 or 12 games. Not good defensively. So I'm going to put him in the flop category. He was just not good enough for Manchester United. Next up we have Juan Mata. Juan Mata is such a nice bloke and he's such a reasonable personality. Obviously he didn't reach the heights that were expected of him from his Chelsea days, but he is a good signing. I think he did his job, scored some crucial goals in the FA Cup final, 2 goals at Anfield, the bicycle kick. Manchester United wasted him by playing him on the wing. His legs are gone. I'm going to put him in a reasonable category as well. Next we have Herrera. Ander Herrera was a workhorse. When he arrived, people thought we have found a new Paul Scholes, which is a very wrong expectation. He didn't really fill the boots of Paul Scholes or Michael Carrick, but he did an okay job. Most Manchester United fans liked him. That performance against Chelsea, he was pretty reasonable. I'm going to put him in reasonable category as well. Next up we have Luke Shaw. When Manchester United bought him, I thought we had successor of Patrice Evra, which clearly isn't the case. On some days he looks pretty good, on others absolutely clueless. Manchester United need to buy a good left back if they want to move forward and compete with the bigger clubs. And I'm going to put him in unconvincing category. Moving on, Angel Di Maria, which could have been one of the best signings post-Ferguson era was Angel Di Maria. Angel Di Maria lit up the Premier League when he started from Manchester United. That goal against Leicester, amazing, beautiful chip. He was very versatile, but for some reason his move didn't work. He got his house broken into, which clearly didn't help the case. So I'm going to put him into the flop category. Moving on, we have Radamel Falcao. Considering Radamel Falcao's injury, Manchester United shouldn't have even tried to sign him. He was absolutely horrible, a shadow of his former self. I never expected Falcao move to work, so I'm going to put him in absolute flop category. Then we have Daley Blind. The problem with Daley Blind is that he played so many roles in Manchester United that we couldn't form an opinion of Daley Blind. He didn't have enough pace to compete with Premier League wingers. His ball interception was pretty good. Jose Mourinho deployed him at centre back position. He was convincing, but then against Man City, he was exposed. A utility player, but I don't think he made a single role his own. So I'm going to put him in unconvincing category. Next up we have Victor Valdés, the Barcelona legend. I think Valdés was unnecessary. There were the other options available if Manchester United really wanted to buy a goalkeeper. He was a flop. There's not enough evidence to judge Victor Valdés in the Manchester United jersey, so I'm going to put him in the flop category. And he was not even needed at Manchester United. I remember his last game was against Hull, a 0-0 draw. He was pretty good in that game, so I'm going to put him in the flop category. Then we have Memphis Depay. For some reason, Memphis Depay move didn't work. He was pretty good in Europa League, but had no end product. And we know end product is necessary if you want to survive in the Premier League. So Depay goes into flop category as well. Got 2 goals against, I think, Anderlecht, which were pretty good. Apart from that, absolute flop. Moving on, we have Marcos Rojo. Rojo, a lot of injury problems. Got injured for 7 months on one occasion. Not really a solid enough signing to put him in anything above unconvincing. He was bought based off the campaign at the 2014 World Cup and he clearly didn't translate those performances in a Manchester United jersey. Next up, Matteo Darmian. We thought that Manchester United have solved their right back problems. Based on first couple of matches, I thought Darmian was pretty solid, but that was not the case at all. He looked clueless. Defensively, extremely poor. Everybody got past him very easily. Just not good enough for Manchester United and couldn't really settle in. So I'm going to put him in the flop category as well. Bastian Schweinsteiger. This is one move that came a little too late. I think he could have been a world-class signing. Schweinsteiger bossed the midfield when Germany won the World Cup in 2014. Clearly didn't work at Manchester United. One thing that I don't like about Jose Mourinho, he didn't even give him a chance. But Schweinsteiger didn't complain, held his gentleman-like behavior throughout, showed up to training, even was downgraded to reserve team by Jose Mourinho. I don't know why, but I'm so glad that Manchester United only paid 5 million for him. So I'm going to put him in unconvincing category. Next up we have Morgan Schneiderlin. I don't know why Manchester United bought him. Clearly they wanted to replace Michael Carrick or Paul Scholes, but Morgan Schneiderlin, even at Southampton, he was outshined by Adam Lallana. He just didn't have enough in his tank to be a Manchester United midfielder. So yeah, he goes straight into the unconvincing category. Next up, Sergio Romero. Sergio Romero is probably the best backup goalkeeper in Premier League. Never complains, always gives his best. He's a very good shot stopper. He's not good with his feet, but he's a very good shot stopper. He has been worth every penny. Next up we have Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial, when he burst to the scene, he was absolutely ridiculous. Scored that crushing goal against Liverpool. He's still the same player. Probably his stats are a bit better, and at times he looks absolutely clueless, but I still think he has been a very good player for Manchester United. His partnership with Rashford is growing now, and he's forming a great partnership with Bruno Fernandes as well, so which is a good positive sign from Manchester United moving forward. So I'm going to put him in worth every penny. Eric Bailly. When Eric Bailly was bought by Manchester United, his first few games he was like a beast. I thought we have found the new Nemanja Vidic. The way he commanded the centre back position, he was never out of position, always put in a good fierce tackle, but as time moved on, his injury problems grew substantially, and still I have a lot of concern about Eric Bailly. This might be his final season with the club, so I'm going to put him in unconvincing. Moving on, we have Zlatan Ibrahimovic. King Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Considering his age, considering the intensity of the Premier League, considering that he managed to score so many goals, I have to praise Zlatan. I know there is a big ego in Zlatan, but he somehow justifies it, and I'm going to put him in worth every penny. We won 3 trophies that year. Zlatan had a big injury, still came back and was eager to play. He was a Jose Mourinho favorite as well, even though we didn't pay a single penny for him. Next up we have Henrik Mkhitaryan. This is a classic example of why Manchester United shouldn't buy players based off their stats in the Bundesliga. He was probably the best player in Bundesliga the year we signed him. Had, I think, 25-30 assists in all competitions, which is a pretty impressive number. Had a very slow start to life at Manchester and was kind of lost mostly on the pitch. In Europa League, obviously, came up with good performances and scored some crucial goals. Not a good signing. I'm going to put him in unconvincing. Next up, we have Paul Pogba. I know Pogba does some things which make him look like the most weird footballer on the face of the planet, like dyeing your hair blue before Manchester derby. He was called a virus by Jose Mourinho. But Paul Pogba has put in some mind-blowing performances for Manchester United. His long-range passing is unmatched. He's world class. Do I think he's the best professional? Absolutely not. He has a lot to work on. But he's a world champion at the age of 27 and has won the league multiple times with Juventus. So I'm going to put him in reasonable category because he hasn't helped to win the league, and that is the reason why Manchester United paid 90 million pounds for him. Next up we have the Iceman, Victor Nelson Lindelof. Another Jose Mourinho signing. I think he's a good defender. His aerial ability is questionable, absolutely. He needs to work on that. But apart from that, he's very calm and collected. His long range passing is improving as well. I think he will form a good partnership with Harry Maguire in the coming years, and is definitely a player that Manchester United should keep. He's very young still, a lot of time to improve, so Lindelof goes in the worth every penny list. Next up, Romelu Lukaku. I know there is a place for goal poachers in Premier League, and at Manchester United we had Ruud van Nistelrooy, Berbatov, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but Romelu Lukaku just didn't have enough in his tank to be the main man at Manchester United. He missed so many chances, and a lot of them were just sitters or open goals. His first touch is absolutely horrendous. Someone like Ciro Immobile, Timo Werner would be a better fit for Manchester United. I'm going to put him in reasonable category. Next up, Alexis Sanchez. The only good performance Alexis Sanchez had in a Manchester United shirt was when he played the piano. That's it. So yeah, he goes right into the flop category. Moving on, we have Nemanja Matic. Nemanja Matic scored that brilliant goal against Crystal Palace in the 3-2 win in the Jose Mourinho era. Apart from that, he has looked very decent. Even this season, when he came back from injury, he looked very stable in the middle of the park, had some great interceptions. His reading of the game is pretty good, and I still think he has maybe one season left in him. So I think he has been reasonable. 40 million pounds is a lot of money, but I still think he did a good job. Next up we have Fred. Manchester United paid 52 million for Fred. He looked absolutely horrendous when he came. This season he has been a revolution. What a turnaround by the man from Brazil. And if he continues to prove, he will be a very deadly player from Manchester United in the coming years. He's still very young, 27, 26 I think. He goes into the reasonable category, but he's improving, so he can move upward as well. Next up we have Diego Dalot, the man from Portugal. Diego Dalot, Manchester United have played him a few times. He's still 20 years old, has a lot of time to improve. Not first team quality in my opinion. He's probably the most underrated crosser in Manchester United squad. He needs to improve. I haven't seen him enough to make a judgment about him. He scored that goal against Tranmere Rovers I think, where we won 6-1. He's been okay. I'm going to put him in reasonable because I haven't seen him enough. Next up we have Lee Grant. Don't know why Manchester United bothered to buy him. He is like Scott Carson. Doesn't have anything to do, just takes wages home. I think he's a flop. I'm going to put him in the flop category because he hasn't even played. I think he's played one match. Next up we have Bruno Fernandes. What a brilliant signing Bruno Fernandes has been so far, and I hope it continues. Links midfield with attack, makes spaces for the attackers, picks out beautiful passes, is a good free kick taker. I think he's an absolute gem. So I'm going to put him in worth every penny list. Next on the list we have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. After Rafael, Antonio Valencia and Darmian, Manchester United absolutely needed to buy someone who is a solid defender. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has completely changed the dynamics at Manchester United. He has made that right back spot is on. Nobody gets past him. At Crystal Palace, he had some jaw-dropping performances. I'm glad Manchester United paid money for him, and he's worth every penny. He's going into the worth every penny list. He's just a brilliant defender, and he has been improving his attacking output as well, which is the way Manchester United players should be if they want to stay at the club. So well done, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Next up we have Harry Maguire. 80 million for Harry Maguire is still a bit too much. Has he improved the Manchester United defense? Absolutely he has. He is the best defender at Manchester United, hands down. Him and Wan-Bissaka have clearly made a big difference, and I think it's about time that Manchester United parted ways with Smalling and Jones. So he is going in worth every penny. Next up we have Daniel James. In big games he has been absolutely brilliant. Against Man City, against Liverpool, Manchester United should keep him and bring him on maybe as a sub next season if they get Jadon Sancho. I still think Daniel James has a lot of potential. The goals he has scored so far from Manchester United are just delightful to watch. So he's going into the worth every penny list because he only paid 15 million for such a brilliant player. Next up, the last but not the least, that is Odion Ighalo. I was so pissed when Manchester United bought Odion Ighalo. I just thought that Manchester United had hit a new low. I still don't think he's good enough for Manchester United, but he has scored some very good goals. The goal he scored in Europa League, delightful. He can be a good third choice striker at the club. He goes in reasonable category for me. And that concludes all the signings that Manchester United had made post Ferguson era. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you have any suggestions, drop them in the comments down below. Do you agree with my list, or do you think that Zlatan or Juan Mata need to go into the legend category? It is surprising that Manchester United have been so poor that nobody is even close to the legend category. That's the end of the video, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.